Have you ever stopped to think why your 75-year-old neighbor seems to have a sense of calm that you've lost along the way? What if I told you that the difference between someone who ages peacefully and someone who lives in constant restlessness could be a single 3-minute action that most people abandon without realizing? Have you ever noticed how your body has started to talk differently? That subtle tingling in your hands when you should be relaxing? The breath that always seems a little too shallow, as if you're climbing an invisible staircase all the time. Or even worse, that strange feeling that your heart beats in a rhythm that no longer suits you. It's like someone has messed with your body's internal thermostat, and you can no longer find the right temperature to feel truly at home within yourself. Your muscles carry a tension that you don't even remember when it arrived, as if they were compressed springs waiting for permission to relax that never comes. In so many cases that I have followed, I have discovered that there is a specific ritual, so simple that it seems silly, so powerful that it transforms lives, capable of restoring the body's lost language of serenity. People who seemed condemned to constant agitation have rediscovered what it is like to feel that deep peace that they thought they had lost forever. If you feel that your calm has become hostage to feelings that you cannot control, leave a yes in the comments. When we feel this constant tension, it's as if an internal alarm is going off, even when there's no real danger around us. Many people believe that these discomforts are normal as we age, but the truth is that they can indicate a permanent state of alert, a silent worry that sets in without us realizing it. This feeling is the result of a cycle in which the body reacts to small, accumulated worries and the mind gets stuck in a state of alertness, ready for what could go wrong even when everything is calm. Think of your nervous system as a very sensitive scale. When everything is balanced, it works well. But when something weighs too much on one side, like stress or anxiety, it becomes unbalanced, causing these uncomfortable symptoms. It's as if the body is always on, even when you want to rest and relax. This feeling of tension is a warning, a bridge between what we feel and what our body is trying to process. But there's good news. This state of alert doesn't have to last forever. There is a path to finding real and lasting relief, and it starts with understanding what's behind these feelings. Understanding this connection is the first step to regaining control and regaining the peace you deserve. If you've ever felt these signs or want to find out how to turn this restlessness into calm, stay with me. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss the next steps in this journey. Press 1 if you've already experienced this feeling, or 5 if you still have questions about what's going on inside you. When the body insists on sending subtle signals of discomfort, it is as if an invisible tension surrounds us, making it difficult to find serenity. This feeling is not a punishment, but an invitation to take gentle and conscious care. Now, let's try a small adjustment that can bring real and noticeable relief. The 30-second adjustment. This is a brief but powerful pause to align your posture and allow your body to release accumulated stiffness, bringing a feeling of lightness and immediate rest. Mental health experts point out that this simple gesture, when incorporated regularly, reduces the feeling of internal tightness and helps to regain lost balance. Psychologist Anna, with over 20 years of experience, notes that this practice favors connection with one's own body, activating a state of calm that can be felt almost instantly. Have you ever felt that your body needs a moment all to itself? If so, write in the comments, "Today I choose to take care of myself with affection." Sharing this intention can strengthen your commitment and inspire others who are going through the same experience. By making this brief adjustment, you can notice a subtle but significant change. Your body relaxes, your mind finds space to breathe, and the feeling of being trapped by restlessness begins to dissolve. This gesture doesn't solve everything, but it's the first step towards regaining control and feeling more at home with yourself. Imagine your body as a tree that, after a storm, finds the morning sun as a chance to open its leaves again. This reconnection with your own structure is an invitation to see, feel, and care for the ground where your roots live. Little by little, this attention transforms restlessness into a gentle breeze that flows through every part of your being with calm and presence. Have you ever noticed that slight difference when you wake up? Maybe you've fallen asleep more peacefully, without the jolt that used to interrupt the night. Or perhaps when you walk, your body seems firmer, as if each step carries less weight, more confidence. This small transformation, although subtle, is the first sign that something is starting to change. It's not a giant leap, but a delicate step by your body, responding to the care you've been giving it. When we notice these tiny changes, even if they're timid, it's essential to recognize the value they bring. The body doesn't change overnight, especially when we've faced years of accumulated tension. Each small, positive reaction represents a real victory, the result of attentive listening and respecting your own time. It's an invitation to trust the process, the partnership you're building with your own being. Imagine that your body is whispering a thank you, an acknowledgement for finally being heard. It's as if that tree that stands firm after the storm begins to stretch its branches toward the light, showing that renewal is possible. This delicate connection between mind and body strengthens the path you are taking, gradually transforming restlessness into serenity. Now, tell me. Press 1 if you have already noticed some improvement, even if small, or 5 if you feel like you are still at the beginning of this journey. Your simple gesture helps create a community that understands and supports you. If this content has brought more clarity to your daily life, subscribe to the channel. Each week, we walk together, step by step. Your subscription will also help more people find a little relief and balance. As we continue, get ready to discover in the next step how to integrate this lightness into your daily life, making calm a constant companion, even in the face of challenges. Let's go together, always moving forward. Many older adults notice that throughout the day, a subtle restlessness takes over, even when they try to relax in their daily routine. Maybe that feeling of tension in the chest when sitting down to watch a favorite program, or the difficulty in switching off the mind before going to sleep, seem like just natural signs of aging. However, there is a silent habit that, without us realizing it, feeds this constant agitation: excessive use of screens and prolonged exposure to blue light, especially at night. When the intense light from a cell phone, tablet, or television invades the environment close to bedtime, it directly interferes with the body's internal clock, the one that regulates sleep and wakefulness. Imagine the brain as a lighthouse that needs darkness to guide the ship. This artificial light confuses the nervous system, keeping it on alert, as if invisible threats were always nearby. The result is an increase in cortisol levels, the stress hormone, which remain high even when the body should be slowing down and preparing for rest. This mistake, so common among people who have never been educated about the effects of technology on mental health, generates a cascade of reactions that are difficult to identify. The heart may palpitate for no apparent reason. Sleep becomes superficial and fragmented, and the mind wakes up several times during the night, making recovery difficult. Upon waking, it is common to experience a feeling of confusion or persistent tiredness, as if the body had been under stress for a whole day, even without much effort. In addition, small startles in response to everyday noises may become more frequent, revealing a nervous system that is constantly on alert. It is important to recognize that this reaction is not a personal flaw, but a natural consequence of inadequate stimulation that goes unnoticed in everyday life. Restlessness does not arise out of nowhere, nor should it be seen as just an inevitable part of aging. Understanding this silent process opens the way to seeing anxiety in a new light, revealing that the discomfort that seems invisible to the naked eye may be maintained by habits that are invisible to the common eye. What if the restlessness that accompanies our days and nights is not simply tiredness or worry, but the persistent echo of a nervous system struggling to find peace amidst never-ending stimuli? You wake up with an unexpected feeling of tranquility. Your chest feels lighter and your thoughts are no longer concerned. But is this calm permanent or just a brief interval before restlessness returns? Often, this serene moment does not mean that the discomfort has disappeared completely. It is like walking through a minefield covered in grass. The danger remains hidden, waiting only for the right moment to manifest itself. The temporary absence of signals does not always indicate that the fight is won. It may simply be a pause in the tension that still inhabits the body and mind. This oscillation occurs because the body, especially in situations of chronic nervousness, does not recover in a linear fashion. The nervous system follows cyclical patterns, activating and deactivating stress responses according to internal and external stimuli. Irregular breathing, accumulated muscle tension, and unprocessed emotions create an environment conducive to the reappearance of discomfort, even after moments of apparent serenity. The body does not forget old triggers. It responds to each signal with a memory that can be activated at any time, generating a new episode of distress. It's natural to feel frustrated when these episodes return. Many people believe that relapses are synonymous with personal failure or lack of strength. However, this perception is mistaken. What really matters is not the immediate disappearance of tension, but the persistence in cultivating practices that promote balance. Your body is learning to trust, but this trust is built through consistency, not isolated victories. Each attempt is a valuable step, even when discomfort seems to triumph momentarily. Sometimes, the silence of restlessness does not represent the end of the challenge. It is simply the opportunity to see the journey with new eyes and choose a different path before anxiety reappears. This understanding opens the way for more gentle and patient care for yourself. Even when the days seem calmer, many seniors continue to repeat a silent pattern that hinders progress towards emotional and physical balance. This subtle and almost imperceptible behavior consists of avoiding light and natural movements during the day, such as short walks or stretching, for fear of feeling discomfort or fatigue. Clinically, this frequent inactivity keeps the body in a constant state of alert, reinforcing muscle tension and raising stress hormone levels, making it difficult to recover from sleep and feel good. Imagine the body as an old watch winding. If it is not wound regularly, the mechanism not only stops working, but also begins to lose track of time, throwing the entire system out of sync. This invisible pattern is, in fact, a form of self-protection that the body develops to avoid immediate suffering, but which, in the long term, prevents the restoration of calm. It is natural to feel fear or doubt when faced with this feeling of fragility, as if every little effort could worsen the condition. It is not your fault. The body has learned to protect itself in order to survive, creating a comfort zone that, paradoxically, keeps the cycle of restlessness active. Recognizing this dynamic is the first step to beginning to manage this energy more wisely, without requiring radical changes or unnecessary discomfort. What if, instead of running away from discomfort, you found a way to teach your body to trust again in small gestures, preparing it for the transformation that is to come? Comfort begins to set in, and the feeling of improvement brings hope. However, it is precisely at this moment that many give in to the mistake that can reopen the door to old discomfort. Anticipatory confidence leads to a silent reduction in attention to the body. It is common to return to forgotten habits or to launch into intense movements, believing that the worst is behind us. But this attitude is comparable to coming out of a cold and exposing yourself to the cold wind. The vulnerability still persists, even if the symptoms have diminished. This false security can lead to an unexpected relapse, and the feeling of frustration is natural in the face of this setback. It is important to understand that the absence of the body's message does not represent a certificate of definitive healing, but rather an invitation to remain vigilant with greater commitment. Your body is opening a delicate gap, The way you respond now influences the balance of the coming days. Transforming this period without discomfort into a phase of active prevention is essential. Think of a wound that appears to be closed. The skin is intact, but the bandage is still necessary to protect the sensitive tissue that remains underneath. Thus, stability is strengthened when it is recognized as a stage that requires patience and constancy, not as an end point. It is at this precise moment that the difference between a temporary improvement and a lasting recovery begins to reveal itself. This journey was not only about facing uneasiness, but about recognizing the signs that guide your transformation. Think of emotional pressure as a flashing light, not to scare you, but to show that something needs to be adjusted. This silent discomfort is an invitation to reorganize your internal routine, to listen carefully to what your mind and body are trying to communicate. On days when calm seems to prevail, it is essential to act with presence and care. What you cultivate when the discomfort subsides is what strengthens the moments when it could return. The lightness of conscious self-care keeps serenity alive, preventing relapses, like watering a plant that wants to constantly bloom. Comment, serenity, if you feel you are ready to embrace this new phase with patience and self-love. Type 1. If you have already realized that your internal discomfort brings a valuable message, or 5 if you still feel that it only brings difficulties. Sometimes a gentle look is enough for your entire body to trust you again, like the sun that, even after the storm, warms the earth ready to be reborn. The fragility that seemed insurmountable gave way to a serenity that comes from constant listening and care. Your body, previously unknown in its own language, now whispers silent truths that you have finally learned to understand. There is no instant or magical solution for what you have felt, because true transformation comes from the constant company that you offer yourself. Your body speaks every day in subtle gestures and discreet signs. Today, you have found the silence necessary to listen to it, to understand that presence is the basis of healing. What it has always wanted was partnership, a relationship of attention, patience, and respect, where each step in the routine becomes an act of self-love. Just like dry land that after the rain awakens to new green, your body and mind are also reborn with each moment of dedicated care. The calm that you now feel is like the sun breaking through the clouds after the storm, revealing that it is possible to start over, even when everything seemed lost. Sometimes inner silence is not absence, but a gentle invitation saying, "Thank you for finally listening to me." If this message touched your heart, allow it to spread by sharing it with someone who also needs this embrace of peace. And if you want to continue cultivating this deep and patient connection, subscribe. Here, each step is a safe space for you to flourish. You are never alone on this journey.